Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today in this conversation about the sneaky things that keep good habits from sticking. My name is Jessica, and I am the creator of Nacho Average Pro. Nacho Average Pro is a lifestyle design company. Essentially, I help people create the lives that they truly want and step into the best version of themselves. The work that I've done has been featured in Forbes, AARP, Optimal Living Daily, and even Becoming Minimalist. I'm really excited to share this information with you today and looking forward to hearing how you can leverage it to start creating change and building the life that you truly want. Today, I am going to share with you the key that will help you to maintain habits that support the life you desire to create. We all know that habits essentially shape the kind of lives that we lead. And if we do a quick Google search, we're likely to find three key themes whenever we're thinking about how to build our habits and how to sustain those habits. Those three focuses are mindset, frequency, and activity. When it comes to mindset, we often think about making a commitment, deciding that we want to create change. When we think about activity, we often hear that we need to focus on choosing something small, doing just a small thing every day, or at least being very specific about the kind of change that we want to create. And when it comes to frequency, it just comes down to doing it every day, or at least doing it as often as possible so that it can become habitual. And I 100% agree. I absolutely agree that these things are important when it comes to building your habits. And at the same time, I know that sometimes it's just not enough. Sometimes we do all the things that we're told we should do to build our habits and achieve our goals, and it just doesn't stick. Let me know in the comments if any of this has been true for you. You've gone out and created a vision board with all of your goals. You've gotten really specific about the kind of habits you're going to stack together. You've even found yourself paying for things to make it easier for you to go and do what you need to do more frequently. And still, it doesn't stick. I totally understand because I experienced the exact same thing in my own journey. And through that experience, I learned maybe I need to go deeper. My journey really started 4 years ago. I was overworked, overwhelmed, and overweight. And there were three things that I desperately wanted to create with my life. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to get better control over my finances. And I wanted to build the foundation for my entrepreneurial journey so that I could one day leave my corporate job. And I started doing all the right things, but I struggled. And that's when I discovered the often overlooked key to building and sustaining habits that support the lives we desire to create. I'm going to tell you more about what that thing is in just a moment. But before I do, I want to talk to you about how it has impacted my life. This is what my life looks like today, 4 years later. In that time span, I launched a side hustle and ultimately ended up leaving my full-time job to pursue entrepreneurship. I have lost over 40 pounds and maintained that weight loss. And I have leveraged $90,000 of my own money to fuel my desires. That includes building my savings, starting my business, launching into a van life journey, and even extensive travel around the world. And I did all of that within 4 years. So, what changed? What were the things that were getting in the way? It turns out that it was my clutter. A lot of us are familiar with this concept of decluttering, and you may have even heard of minimalism. But today I want to offer you a perspective on clutter that will completely transform the way that you think about your stuff. We often think about our clutter as just junk or the multiples of things that we hold on to in our space. But the truth of the matter is that clutter is the thing that perpetuates and even supports beliefs that discourage us from making progress towards our goals. So if we truly want to create change, if we want to build habits that stick, we have to learn how to declutter and design our environments. This is what I call the clutter cycle. And you can see here how clutter keeps us stuck. By living in a cluttered environment, we perpetuate discouraging beliefs about what we're capable of and how we perceive the world. That often makes us feel some kind of way, and typically it's not a good feeling. And in that space, we act inauthentically. We overcompensate, we overdo, we overindulge in things that don't align with who we are or maybe where we're going. And it continues to grow this cluttered environment. And because we live in that cycle day in and day out, month after month, we build habits, but not the ones that we're looking for. Our habits become misaligned, and we find ourselves spending our time and our money doing things that push us further and further away from our goals. And as a result, we lead lives that we find to be unfulfilling. This is a sample clutter cycle from one of my clients. She was seeking to lose weight, but she was struggling to create and sustain change. When we worked together, we started out in her kitchen, and in her environment, we found a ton of things that she had that never got used. And as we dug deeper, we found that a lot of this stuff was created to a belief that she was obligated to uphold other people's expectations. But more than that, it was a reflection that she believed that she was failing to do so. And so living in this environment and perpetuating these beliefs often made her feel insecure and inadequate. And as a result of that feeling, she overcompensated by purchasing more and more items that she thought other people would approve of or that would make her look good. And that continued to create a cluttered environment in her home, which created an environment where her discouraging beliefs could thrive. As a result, she created some habits, but not the ones she was looking for. She found herself avoiding spending time in the kitchen, constantly eating out, and constantly going to drive-thrus and grabbing processed meals that were moving her further and further from her goals. As a result, she was creating a life where she felt like she was expected to uphold other people's obligations, even when they didn't reflect her own reality. And as a result, that was holding her back. After we decluttered and designed her environment, this is what her life started to look like. She built a kitchen and a pantry full of things that she loved to use and to eat. She started to believe that she doesn't have to pretend to be something that she's not. And as a result of that new belief, she started to feel empowered. And then she began to act authentically. She began to purchase foods and even cooking gadgets that would help her to create the kind of meals that she would love to eat day in and day out. And that helped her to maintain an environment designed to support this new belief system. And as a result of living in that day after day, month after month, she created aligned habits. She started preparing her own meals and even began weightlifting as a part of her exercise routine. From that, she created the life that she truly desired to lead. And in just 6 months, she lost 27 pounds. When it comes to building habits, we often forget about how our environments shape our ability to maintain and sustain the habits that we want to create. If you've been struggling to lose weight, to save money, to launch a business, to do anything, then take a look at your environment and figure out what things are keeping you from the life you desire to lead. If you're interested in learning more or how these tips can help you achieve your own goals, head over to nachoaveragefro.com. There you'll find information and blogs about how to design and align your environment. And you'll also have the opportunity to book a call with me. If you'd like to talk more in depth about the life you desire to lead, what's keeping you stuck, and how to build it, book a call and we'll set up some time to build your strategy. Thank you so much for participating in this presentation. And just remember, the possibilities of this world are endless. All you have to do is create a little space.